Hi folks, I was a little bit late coming on live there. I haven't been on StreamYard for a while. I wanted to hop on and give some insights into Samhain season. It is certainly a season that seems to be taking increasing importance in Ireland, which is where I'm living at the moment. And it's beautiful to see. Samhain is like the Celtic pagan festival. It's similar to the way the Mexicans honor the dead when they have passed over. And the astrological significance of Samhain is fairly simple. It's what we call the astrological midpoint between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. It's when the sun is at 15 degrees Scorpio, which is fixed water, which is halfway between 30 degrees Libra for the equinox and 30 degrees Capricorn for the winter solstice. So we're knee deep in Scorpio season at the moment, as I'm sure many of you know. So Scorpio season can be very deep and very intense because the Scorpio energy is fixed water. It's all about deep emotion intensity, deep emotional reflections. So at the moment we have the sun pretty much exactly conjunct Mars. It's just three degrees between them. Also conjunct Ceres, also conjunct Mercury, all in Scorpio. So certainly what I've noticed in the last few days is a lot of people having volatile conversations because Mars in Scorpio sometimes finds it hard to reflect its anger. Mercury in Scorpio can sometimes be quite cutting, can sometimes reflect deeply on something and take months to say it and then come out with it. But what's really interesting about today's chart is we also have the moon trine Jupiter. You know, we've the moon in the practical earthy sign of Virgo, trining Jupiter in Taurus, which is fixed earth. We also, interestingly enough, have Neptune trining Mars, Neptune trining Mercury. So Neptune is giving, and Neptune then is also actually trining Ceres. So Neptune is our higher vision, it's our higher bliss. It's when we kind of let go of how we think should be and just go into the bliss of what we really want to bring into form in our lives. So, you know, Samhain, as I was saying at the start of the conversation, it never used to be a huge deal in Ireland. It was always much more about Halloween. It was always much more about dressing up and going around, and trick or treats become quite big in Ireland in the last couple of years. But it was really beautiful to see Samhain taking such significance. And it's partly, I think, because the Samhain parades that may have gone on before COVID, a lot of them maybe had only got started. Certainly in Clonakilty here, there was a beautiful parade on Sunday evening after a week of festivities. And some of those some of the festivals have been funded by the Arts Council, which is really, really nice to see. And Paddy Doyle, who runs a writing group that I recently joined in Kinsale, he had been asked to organise a morning where we spent an hour reading tributes to our ancestors. Which was kind of like a poetry open mic, and it was absolutely beautiful. There was 20 of us there. It was very low key, very understated, but we could all really feel our ancestors there in the room. And the thing about those that cross over, particularly, you know, those of us who may have lost our parents, you know, when they were older, particularly people of my generation who had parents who just didn't know anything about creativity because they were just too busy earning a living and providing for their family. There was no such thing as going to write in groups or taking a morning off to go off and write poems in the company of other strangers and like-minded people. It just didn't happen. And yet our ancestors continue to support us from across the veil. And I know that, you know, for sure with my late daughter, she continues to have the last word in absolutely every aspect of my life. You know, I think I'm going this direction, and it's almost like she's there from beyond the veil saying, no, ma'am, I have something much better planned for you and something much bigger planned for you. So what's lovely about being able to do this quick live today is I'm doing it from my first proper office ever in my whole life. As some of you know, I bought this house just before last December, and I've been away in Portugal. I've been away in Italy a lot. I haven't really had a chance to settle in and to make it my own. I was actually quite resistant to doing so, and I would never have believed the difference just painting a room a different colour would make, even though I've studied feng shui and even though I've studied space clearing and had several houses space cleared. The difference in this room having a proper desk that was put together by my brilliant carpenter, you know, it's an IKEA desk. It's a solid desk. It's beautiful white. The office that I'm working from is quite small, but it's really compact. I posted earlier on Instagram that, you know, of course, a quadruple Gemini has an office with 4 desks. So that's the way that the office is going to stay. So I also wanted to give you some information on the creative relocation package I'm starting from mid-December. Earlier in the year, I experimented with doing 3-session packages. And, you know, I kind of tweaked them a bit and then put off deciding whether I'd keep going back to working with clients with single sessions, or whether I'd move back to 3-session packages. And I found 3 sessions wasn't enough. So I have increased the package to 6 sessions. And the idea is that a lot of people want to skip straight to astrocartography, or a lot of people were saying to me, well, I don't really want to have my natal chart done because I've already had it done. And then at the start of the session, you would discover it was 10 years since they had their natal chart done. I mean, even though I'm an astrologer, I have my own chart done 3 or 4 times a year by 2 or 3 other astrologers. And it gives me huge additional insights into what's going on, because I often say that, you know, astrologers reading their own charts, even if it's with their transits, and apologies in advance to hairdressers that might be watching, it's like a hairdresser trying to cut the back of their hair, you know, without a mirror. You'll miss a bit, you know, you might miss a small bit, or you might miss a big bit. So the purpose of the creative relocation package is to really empower people to know their natal chart to the core, to have 2 transit sessions so that you can see what's coming up for the next 12 to 18 months. And with transit sessions, I always go back about 6 months as well. And then you move to the relocated charts and the astrocartography, because as I constantly say, it's usually the transits that you're going through that dictate why you want to move. And particularly since COVID, people are changing their lives faster than ever. People are making major decisions in the space of like 2 or 3 weeks. People really are kind of renting out their houses and crossing the world and giving up their job to go and try something else in a different country for 3 months just to see how they feel. I've had numerous clients doing that, in particular during the recent Venus retrograde. It was quite extraordinary. So if any of you would like to hop on a free call to know more about the creative relocation package, to see if it is for you, you can just click on the website, because it's on the banner of the website, Martha Clark Astrology. And once you click on the banner, that brings you straight to the link to book a free call if you'd like to know more and to see if you'd be a good fit. And in the meantime, I wish you, truly, I wish you Samhain blessings, because today is, it's the high point and the midpoint of Samhain. And take time maybe this evening to honor your ancestors more maybe than you realize you wanted to. Maybe take out some old photos of your ancestors, maybe go back and read over letters. I found myself doing that organically about 2 days ago, rereading letters I'd written to my mother. I've been writing to her since I was 8 years old, and God bless her, she kept all the letters, and it was beautiful to go back and read them, because it showed a very different relationship between us than the relationship the rest of the world thought we had. A lot of people thought we had a very difficult relationship. We certainly did. But the letters show the love as well. The letters show a completely different relationship. So maybe go for a walk. Those of you who are in different hemispheres, it's still daylight where you are, whereas in Ireland here, it's almost 8 o'clock in the evening. And just spend maybe an hour just reflecting on your ancestors and maybe how much harder their lives were than you realized, and give blessings and thanks for maybe the sacrifices they made that then went on down through the generations that allowed you live the life that you now live. Certainly with everything that's going on, particularly in the Middle East, none of us should take anything of what we have for granted. So once again, Samhain blessings to you all. And now that I have my proper office, I will be popping on to StreamYard more often. I'm moving to Italy for the winter next week, but I'll still be, now that most of my the backlog of my admin has been dealt with and my daughter's affairs have all been dealt with, I will be on Instagram and Facebook, and also doing these StreamYard videos more frequently. So thanks very much to you all, and lots of love, and take care. Bye now.